What is going on, YouTube? I'm Brandon. You are back in the Gill Strap Garage, and we're continuing on the crunch for Sturgis. Today's goal is to not die from the heat, but we are going to change out our rotors because these are smoked. Way smoked. I'll explain a little bit the rotors that I bought, what I wish I would have bought, what I couldn't really wait to get, so whatever. I'm gonna get the new microphone set up. I'm gonna get you on the tripod. I'm gonna get parts set up, bags pulled off. We're gonna get this back tire ripped off, start with the back, clean it all up, move to the front, whatever. Probably call it a day for this video because I can't make much more progress until my primary is here, and I've got about 2 more days before that's here. If I get lucky, it'll be here tomorrow, but I'm thinking 2 more days and I'll have it. So let's get into it. So most of the action to start is going to be on this side right here. I'm gonna bring the back end up a little bit, take my slack adjusters, or take my axle adjusters loose, and then we'll break apart the nut, bring the bike way up once the axle's out, and slide the back wheel out. Not much to it. We're taking the axle adjusters out now. I'm just gonna pull them all the way off. Tell me those aren't cool. I like them anyway. Sorry that you're lame. Pop our retaining clip out. What size do we got here? 15/16. I don't have my rubber mallet, but we're just going to take a block of wood and a regular hammer. And the axle is out. See if I can get my spacers out right now. Yeah, I'll have to deal with that as I lift it. I'll let that hang out there for a second. All right, now we're gonna lift the bike pretty high. This tire is not going to make it very much longer. End of the season, it will be replaced. Shimmy this guy out. All right. So I'm just gonna do this part on the floor here. I've got a rag on the pulley side because I don't want to scratch anything. So I'm gonna get me a Torx and hope that these come out decent enough. Actually, to break these loose, I'll stand it up so I can get a little more leverage on it. Oh yeah, we're good. For one, anyway. Those Matco ratchets are the worst ratchets I've ever used. I started phasing everything out with snap-on ratchets, I don't know, a couple years ago, and that's the way to do it. So the minimum thickness on this rotor should be 0.205. We're gonna measure that before we're done here, just for fun. Probably off camera right now though. I think I'm gonna shut you guys off. I'm gonna clean this wheel up real good, and then I'll get ready to put the new rotor on. I'll show you what I bought and explain why I didn't go crazy with like a Galfer rotor or something like I would have liked to do. But let's do some cleaning. You know what, while we're still on camera, I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna tap all these holes, chase all the threads, get any Loctite or anything out of there so we get a good bite with the new ones. Let's do that real quick. Hit them all with a little lube. Oh. There's my little mini ratchet. I'm not really working this tap back and forth because I don't feel anything in these holes where I really need to. Kind of just running it through quick, cleaning them up. Bunch of old Loctite, not a whole bunch of shiny stuff on these. I'm gonna get some brake clean and blast out all the oil I just sprayed in there. I'm gonna spray this iron dissolver on here. This stuff reeks, but it works really good. It smells like rotten eggs. You'll see it kind of start to change color a little bit. It'll go from like a little bit of a purple to kind of a brownish color as it just eats all this stuff away. I'm just gonna get it in here and scrub away. I do try to keep up on these wheels pretty good, so this isn't gonna take a whole ton of effort. They've been a little bit neglected lately, but what's the point of having chrome wheels if you keep them dirty? There ain't a lot of chrome 13 spokes running around out there. There's probably some detailer out there watching this right now going, oh my God, why are you using that? I don't know, man. I'm just trying to make my bike look good. Give me some advice. All right, I'm gonna go hose all this stuff off of here and keep going. My camera got a little hot. I've been letting it cool down. I was doing some cleanup work on the bike. Nice chrome. These rotors were pretty cheap. I mean, I got the front and rear set for less than 150 bucks. In comparison to like a Galfer rotor, I don't think there really is any comparison. I would have really liked to buy some Galfer rotors, but me doing dumb stuff like breaking into primaries and things like that makes it a little bit harder to afford those kind of luxuries. So this will get us by. This will do what we need it to do. It's got to be better than what was on the bike. My rear brakes have been questionable for a while now, and I've just been running them. They're just real soft. I have a feeling this is going to help out quite a bit. Like I said, I don't think this is going to be the end-all be-all here. But I was looking for my tool to be able to stick in this hole and measure my axle adjustment. I can't find it, so we're going to go off of the other way. So I need to loosen this side up a little bit. So as you do this, let's see if I can show you guys. As you go to get your tension, if you don't have the tool to measure the gap, you know, between that hole and the axle here, you want to watch your belt. You want to make sure that it's not riding towards one side or the other. That's going to give you a pretty good idea if you're aligned or not. That's tracking pretty well in the center right now. And I believe I've got pretty decent tension. It's a little on the loose side. I'm going to go up like 1/8 of a turn on each of these. And maybe that wasn't probably even 1/8. That's better. Let me make sure I'm still tracking where I want to track. Well, we left off, I think maybe with my camera overheating. I don't remember how this video ended. I was struggling off to get this aligned and thought of an idea. I thought I'm gonna 3D print a part. I had an idea and I brought a little something to life. So I'm just gonna find what I did with it now. This alignment tool. So I don't know if any of that was recording because I just kicked on my mic. I don't know if I have any audio for that. I've got a fan blowing. Everything that you could see me doing over here, I'll recap. I made this tool here. I'll probably just dub it over if none of that recorded. But check that tool out. I've got it in the link in the description below on my Big Cartel website. So like I was saying, I got to figure out how much I can sell these for, how much I can let them go for. This is just a rough draft here. I'm going to have a lot of this cleaned up. This will be a little more legible. But all this is an O-ring for your engine oil, transmission, primary, whatever common Harley filter. And you can align your Harley, your back axle with it. I got it done so much quicker with that than I was doing trying to eyeball it. My primary issue is worked out now. I got the new primary in today and I'm ready to get all this cleaned up and put it back together. I did not prep it on camera because I was so disappointed on my screw up and I just wanted to get it back together. I do have a video from before. I'll put that up in the description here on doing that job. I did the same upgrade. I made a standalone video on it. I'm kind of curious to go back and watch it now and see if I drove that bearing in backwards and just got lucky. But yeah, I'm gonna get this cleaned up. I'm gonna pull this out of the way so I don't fill it all full of crap and start doing a little scrubbing. Even though we're never gonna see it, I'll know that it's filthy. So pull you guys out of the way. I'm gonna take care of that quick. Once I have that in, I gotta prep the stator. I didn't know the stator came with a new plug on it. You guys saw me cut the other ends off of it. That's been like 2 seconds for you. It's been 5 or 6 days for me. So I'll show you guys how to depin that stator before we install that. So I've got some of these little zip ties here. I'm going to mark them. We have 1 and 2 and 3. 4 is empty. So I'll do red on 1. Orange on 2. And nothing on 3. So to get this out, just get a pair of needle nose, pull on that easy. Then you get a little flathead screwdriver, and you just gotta pop these tabs out and pull back. If the orange piece comes out, that's all right. You can stick that right back in. Now we can run our stator in. Let's get some Loctite, find a torque spec, and cinch that down. While I'm thinking about it, it's fresh in my mind. We had red on 1. And that was already wrong. Red on 1, orange on 2, nothing on 3. You can get them all started. Then just push in till you hear a click. Take our keeper. Oh, the tornado siren's going off?
Yeah. Why?
Oh.
It doesn't say tornado watch or anything.
That's weird. Ooh, 30 to 40 inch-pounds. Give the rotor here one last wipe down. See if I got any dielectric grease before I plug this back in. I've got a cover here. It's gonna go that way, so I'll wipe the inside of this out. Give it a little tug test. All right. I'm gonna bring that primary over. I'm gonna show you guys how that new bearing fits. And then I'm gonna turn the camera off and build that primary up off camera because I really don't feel like there's much to talk about or much to show. So you can see how deep that bearing sits out. Oh, I gotta put my new tube in. But that's the gist of it. I'm gonna get this prepped a little more. I gotta build up the shaft and seal it for my shifter here. Put a little anti-seize in here. I used to grease these, and then I moved where it got a little colder and realized when it's cold out, they stick real bad when they're greased. So just a thin coat of anti-seize on that will probably be all right. I might be screwed for today anyway, because I don't know that I have these O-rings. I gotta go see. All right, YouTube, so it's about 6 a.m. on a Saturday, and we're gonna have this thing done today. My battery's almost dead. I'm sick as a dog. I've got a ton of work to do, but we are going to get this motorcycle running today, hopefully before it's hot. I want to go for a ride this afternoon. So I'm going to figure out my camera equipment here, and we're going to get rolling. All right, we're back at it here. I've got the inner primary on. You see that nice pretty bearing sitting in there. I've got all my hardware cleaned up because these are one of the few bolts that you want to put some silicone on. So I got all the old silicone off of it. You just basically want a little bit at the end of the lock tabs here. I'll probably put a little bit on both sides. It'll help seal these up. The newer stuff, they have a sealing washer. These do not. The two short ones go in front, 3 longer ones going back, and then you've got the ones without the lock tabs that go in the front. Put a thin layer of this gasket maker just on the lip of this inner primary. You don't want a bunch of big boogers that are going to break off and be floating around your primary. My major concern right now is if I have the right O-ring sealing this shift shaft. I think I have the correct ones in it now. I think I had some that were a little bit too big before. I had to smash them in. Now we need some Loctite on these bolts before I forget. I think I want to get the starter in before I build up this inner primary. I'm not really in a huge rush to do this because I want to give this silicone, this gasket maker, a chance to set up before I fill it with oil anyway, which might also delay my ability to ride today, but we'll see. Take the time to clean this up a little bit in here. Go ahead and get a scrub brush. Oh, you know what? I wanted to show you my battery cable. So I told you my battery cable was questionable. I went ahead and made a new one here. But when I took the heat shrink off of the old one, check that out. I mean, awesome job on the crimp there. But all that exposed wire for what? Cut it, trim it, make it right. Only thing I'm worried about after I made it like, I don't know, 1/2 inch shorter. Which, I think I have the room. I think it'll work. But, yeah, much better cable connection. I actually don't crimp my cables either. I solder them in. So I take the end, heat it, fill it full of solder. You can kind of see this one got pretty hot. Fill it full of solder and dip my wire in it, hold it till it sets. Put some heat shrink over it. Some people say that's the way to do it. Some people say that's not the way to do it. If I got this battery cable hot enough to melt that solder out of there, well, then I think I have bigger problems other than just that cable. So that's the way I like to do it. Never have to worry about your crimp coming loose or anything like that. So I'm gonna spray in here. Do a little scrubbing. little. Put a little grease on all my splines on both sides, just to help try to keep it from wearing out. You know, I'm gonna pull the other. I'm gonna pull my jack shaft back out and get this starter set first. Got my coupler on. Got my starter bolts here. 13 to 20 foot-pounds for the starter bolts. Put my screwdriver in there to wedge that to keep these from walking too far off from each other and bending and breaking again. I don't know if you guys know this, but you want, when you're hooking up your battery cables, this is for anything, whatever's going to be carrying the heaviest load. Like if you're hooking it up, if you got a couple connections on the battery, let's say, because I'm going to be installing a trickle charger here, I'll show you, it's not just going to be a trickle charger, but you don't want to put the trickle charger side up on the battery and then have your main battery lead on the outside of that. Whatever's carrying the heaviest load, you want down on the base of what you're installing. You don't want your heavier load on the top of the stack. Put a little Loctite on here. One thing, I don't know if I talked about it, off of the old starter, I installed this little push button here. So just in case your starter relay, something takes a crap, you can just reach down, pop, 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 hit that, start it up. Good little $20 safety. And that's how I've been starting my bike for the last, I don't know, 6 or 8 months. The one thing I didn't get to do that I really wanted to, I wanted to like fully polish my exhaust because it looks like crap. I just don't really have that kind of time left. If I wouldn't have done things like broke primaries and things like that, then I would have, you know, had a little more time, of course. But I did need to change the exhaust gaskets. I think I had a little exhaust leak. I'll pull them out while I'm over here and I'm thinking about it. All right, let's go back to the primary side. Standing out here staring at it isn't gonna do me any good. Perfect, we got engagement. I'm gonna go pull off the old assembly for my tensioner and get that put on. Just a second here. 70 to 80. Oh yeah. And here's the fun one. 150 to 165. So my camera overheated. I wasn't stopping because I really just want to go inside. Torquing down the clutch now. Got the compensator torqued. Got my chain adjusted. I don't like the way this one feels. I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store and replace that bolt. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Oh yeah, this thing's stretching like a mofo. You can see that? Ooh, that's a close one. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll probably just replace all 6. I don't know. This bike is killing me. I just want to ride. Let's get our jack shaft bolt in there. So I ran to the hardware store. I got all new hardware here. Just got my gasket set up here. I realized I need to adjust my clutch. I mean, I can do that with the primary cover on there, but I'd rather do it now. And so off camera, I went to go test my new starter, and still doesn't work with the start switch. So I went looking for a new relay when I got the hardware, and nobody carries that micro 5-pin relay, I guess. So I've got one. I've got one coming online. It should be here Monday. If that doesn't fix it, then I've got a wiring issue, and I don't know that I'm going to fix that before the old rally here. Alright, I stopped recording because I'm just trying to make some progress here. I was polishing up my pipe, and I got my pipe on. It was tight, it is not anymore, but then I was just going to clean everything, and I found the snap ring that holds my brake lever on is missing. So one of those examples of it sucks to have to redo it, but I got to pull my exhaust off, and I got to get that snap ring on that brake arm. Snap ring's kind of blown out. I was trying to snake one in there without pulling at all. I stretched it out too far. Well, I just went out and test rode the thing. Those back brakes have never felt so good. Like I can't imagine what a good solid performance rotor would have done, but I mean, even just that cheapie on there, that thing feels great. Clutch is adjusted well, no weird noises, nothing to be concerned about. I think we're ready to go put some test miles down tomorrow. Tomorrow is our 6th wedding anniversary. We're gonna go film our Cruising for Coffee episode for tomorrow. That'll release on Wednesday. This video will probably come out after that video. And then the next video is gonna be shooting out to Sturgis. So it's coming, it's here. I'm excited. I can call the bike done. I can call it ready to ride. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Sturgis, baby, here it comes. Oh, and one more thing before I forget, go check out that Big Cartel website. I'm gonna be putting some of those 3D printed parts up there. Still, I've got a little bit of time to figure out what it's gonna cost to ship them and all that. I'm not gonna be shipping across the border, so nothing going to Canada, nothing outside of the Great 48 here. I forgot what else I was gonna say, but yeah, check out that Big Cartel website. Thank you guys for all the support. Stay tuned for more. See you in the next one.